What's up and welcome to Delightful D News and Views. I'm your host DJ. There's an old saying that a man's home is his castle, and this is especially true for Africans that now call America home. African folks often cite being afraid to live in, quote, dangerous FBA neighborhoods as a reason for why they separate themselves. But how true is this? Watch until the end because I'm going to explain 3 places that are more dangerous for Africans than any FBA hood. Before we do that, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and put a like on the video and subscribe. The first place more dangerous for Africans than the hood is Ethiopia. The Ethiopia-Tigray War is raging in the East African country. Listen to this short description of what's happening directly from the BBC. A conflict between the government of Ethiopia and forces in its northern Tigray region has thrown the country into turmoil. Fighting has been going on since November 2020, destabilizing the populous country in the Horn of Africa, leaving thousands of people dead, with 350,000 others living in famine conditions. Eritrean soldiers are also fighting in Tigray for the Ethiopian government. All sides have been accused of atrocities. Now, I want you to answer this. Is it more dangerous for Africans to live in Atlanta with Black Americans? Or is it more dangerous for Africans to live in Mekele, in Ethiopia, where there was just an airstrike, where there is a war going on that has left thousands and thousands of people without their lives? The second place more dangerous for Africans than the hood is Nigeria. The Fulani herdsman crisis has brought the country close to civil war. Listen to this briefing. Clashes between different groups of Fulani herders and farmers have killed thousands of people in Nigeria over the past 2 decades. In 2014, more than 1,200 people lost their lives. This made the Fulanis the world's 4th deadliest militant group. Let me repeat that. This made the Fulanis the world's 4th deadliest militant group. February's massacre of some 300 people in central Benue State and last month's raid in southern Enugu, where more than 40 were killed, caused outrage across Nigeria. Properties were destroyed and thousands of people forced to flee their homes. My Nigerian people, come sit down. We must discuss this. Oh, bring that Niger wahala. Yeah, I gotta have more heat and more smoke for our Nigerians because ethnically they are the closest to FBA and there is a lot more going on in that relationship. But let's get back to the report. So you mean to tell me that Nigerians are more afraid of living next to Black Americans in Baltimore, Maryland than living in Enugu State? Than living in Benue? I am not buying it. Y'all live next to the Fulanis, the 4th deadliest militant group in the world. Black Americans are nowhere near that level. We haven't even reached world status. So I am not for 1 second believing that story that y'all are telling about being afraid. It's not adding up. And on that note, your daughters are not being kidnapped in Black American neighborhoods. Your daughters are not being sold and married off to older men in Black American neighborhoods. Your villages and your homes are not being burned down in Black American neighborhoods. So no, I do not believe for 1 second that you are afraid of living next to Black Americans, because all of those things that I just mentioned are happening in your hometowns right now. All of this brings up an interesting question. What happened to the warrior mentality that Africans are always telling us about? I mean, we grow up listening to the tales of Shaka Zulu and Queen Nzinga, and the Pan-Africans love to tell us how Africans are the best fighters and they have a warrior mentality and they're ready to defend their people, their land, their wealth at any cost. But something changes when they get off the plane in America. They suddenly become these very demure individuals that can only live in the suburbs and shop at Trader Joe's and go to Starbucks. And I'm just wondering, what happened to that Shaka Zulu energy that y'all told us about? What happened to the Haile Selassie energy that y'all always love to speak about? Did something change on the Ethiopia Airlines flight? Nothing changed because this is an excuse. The idea that Africans are afraid of living next to FBA in the hood or even just regular neighborhoods with Black Americans is a line that they have been using for decades, and it's time that we address it and dispel the myth. We are no longer accepting this because we have Google, we have books, we have libraries, we have access to technology, and we can see what's going on in your home cities, in your home countries, and we can see that what you are dealing with over there is way more intense than anything you have ever encountered in an FBA neighborhood in America. So I call on all the good African folks, because in my comment section, I get a lot of folks that tell me, oh, it's just some African folks that like to put forth these myths. So I'm calling on the good African folks to start calling out your brothers and sisters about these false things that they say about FBA, because it's not true. You are not more safe in your homeland than you are in a Black American neighborhood, and you know it. And that's all I have to say about that. Now, I want you to get in the comments and tell me, do you think Africans are afraid of living in FBA neighborhoods? Or is this an excuse for them to separate themselves? Let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.